In this video, we're going to go ahead and get into some more of the meat and potatoes. So what we need to do is, over the next several videos, the operations we're going to do is set up the vSphere networking. So we want to be able to set it up to where this host can communicate with the shared storage, for one, for the potential that he may need to join the vCenter domain. Then we're going to set up the storage once the networking is put in play, because you can't set the networking up or the storage up before the networking is in play. And then we're going to set up, deploy a virtual machine, and then manipulate the virtual machine from the vSphere client. And then that's pretty much going to be the bulk of what we're going to cover in this introductory portion of the series, because that's pretty much all there really is to it. A lot of the other stuff is more or less just performance and maintenance and things like that. So from the configuration perspective, if we click on networking, if you see here, I am still connected via RIT/RRiker, which is exactly what you'd want to see. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to say add networking, and I'm going to say this is going to be a virtual machine, or I can specify a VM kernel, and then I have to specify a vSwitch. In this particular case here, I'm going to come in here and specify the VMNIC1 is going to be storage. So I'm going to click on next, and then this guy is going to be SAN1, and I'm going to say next, and then the IP addressing of this guy is going to be, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to specify that this guy is going to be 10.1.1.7/24. Because the way that I normally set it up is it's going to be 10.1.1.1.2.3.4.5.6 for ES6i host 6-1 through 6-6. So this is host 7, so I'm going to give it this IP address. I'm going to click on next and finish. So it's going to add this host. And then I'm going to add another one, VM kernel adapter. Now normally you don't have to do it this way. I can come in here and go properties to the same vSwitch and say add VM kernel adapter to the same NIC if I wanted to. I don't do that though. I would rather go and click in here and say add networking, VM kernel, and map it to the same NIC, or I could associate it to the same NIC. So I can come in here and use vSwitch 1, which is what this guy is. Click on next, and then click next again, and the IP address of this guy here is going to be 10.1.1.17/24. However you want to do it, whether you do it through the Add Networking tab over on the right hand side, click next and finish, or if you go to the Properties tab, actually I need to go in here and modify the name here. So this guy here is going to be Edit, the name is going to be SAN2, and click on OK and close. So whether you do it this way through the properties and you add VM kernel adapters this way, or if you go to the add networking and you map it to an existing vSwitch, it's up to you on how you want to do that. So what I'm going to do is normally then I'm going to actually move to my left a little bit and explain to you how this would come into play. So if I go to storage adapters real quick, and I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. And the reason why is because normally if I'm going to set up storage, I'm going to set up storage in the appropriate manner. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click on the Add button to do this ahead of time. I'm going to say Add iSCSI software adapter and click on Yes. Then once that's been deployed, I click on here and I go to Properties. Or I can right click here and go to Properties, or I can go to the Properties tab over here. I'm going to click on Properties here, and then I have to go to the network configuration. So what you're going to get here is network configuration. I have to click on Add, and you'll see that I have the same vSwitch. So if I click on both, I have to click on this guy, click on OK, and then I have to go back and I have to add again, and I have to click on this one, click on OK, and then if I go to Dynamic Discovery, and then I have to add the storage. Okay, so I'll add this in just for the simple fact. I'm jumping ahead, but I'm going to go a little bit more into the storage aspect of things. Actually, I probably will just combine the storage and the networking, because they're kind of default on each other. well, storage can't work until networking works. So I'll type in 10.1.1.10, which is the IP address of my iSCSI computer. Click on OK. So it's going to go out there and try to find it. And once it does, give that a couple seconds to do its thing. There it goes. I'm going to click on close, and it says rescan the host bus adapter is recommended for this configuration change. Rescan the adapter, yes. Which is now it's going to go out and it should see a 600 gig file show up right down here that says open filer. If the configuration is set up correctly, then I should be able to reach out there, and it's not correct because it didn't actually go out there and see it. So now I have a problem. I have to figure out why I can't see it. So if I come down to I have the storage adapters. Now normally the way I do this is I set up different VM kernel ports. So I'm going to go back to networking and I'm going to disaggregate this. Because I got one NIC, two adapters. I'm actually going to come in and go properties. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blow this guy away. I'll go ahead and just remove it. Click on yes. Yes. Close that guy out. I'm going to go in here and I've got two adapters in the same network, NIC 1 and NIC 2. I'm going to go add networking, VM kernel adapter. I'm going to say this is going to be a new vSwitch, new NIC. Click on next. And if you're not sure, click on the network adapters and you're going to see that actually this one isn't showing it here for whatever reason. This one's not showing up. Normally they do show up, but in this particular case it's a little weird. We're going to say VM kernel adapter, and then NIC 2, and then this is going to be SAN 1. Click on next. I'm sorry, SAN 2. Next, and then the IP address range here is going to be 10.1.1.17/24. And next, and finish. So now that I've done that, we should see that the communication is going back and forth. So now, one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to here, or I'm sorry, configuration. Under the security profile, I'm going to enable SSH. Now the reason I do this is because I want to go and test reachability. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up PuTTY, and I'm going to type in the IP address of this host, which is 217 SSH and port 22. Open. Yes, accept that. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to type in R. Riker and my password. Because I have authentication, it should allow me to authenticate. Okay, it does not like that command. So let me close that out. Actually, let me do it this way. See if that works. Okay, it doesn't like that. So I'm going to log in as root. Bring this guy back over and do 217 SSH port 22, and then log in as root and password. There we go. So now if I ping 10.1.1.10, I can't ping it. Okay, that's a bad sign. So if I can't ping it, that tells me that I've got an issue somewhere. So normally if I can ping it, it'll ping right away. If I go to ping 6, I can ping that one no issue. So now I have a problem. So that problem could be stemming. So let's go over here to 81, which is my host. So you'll notice on 7, notice that there's no, if you look in the lower right hand corner, you'll see these adapters right here, nothing's flashing. If I go to 6 though, there's a little bit of activity on that first NIC, or I'm sorry, on the second NIC. It's intermittent, but there is activity. So one way to fix this problem would be to go to 7, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to power it off. So this is what I was talking about in the previous video, where you might actually have to, once you start doing something with the NICs, that you might actually have to power off the machine, power off, power it off. I'm doing it the wrong way, but I'm kind of in a hurry here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove these adapters. Click on OK. And then now that they've been removed, I'm going to go ahead and edit virtual machine settings. We're going to add network adapter to VMnet 0, or VMnet 1 for the first two, and repeat the process a few more times. This will be vMotion for 2. Then we'll have VMnet 3. This will be for HA and fault tolerance. I really don't need another one, but I'm going to add it anyway because I want to have the adapters available to me if I want to do any other thing. So my goal is to, once these VMs, once the ESXi, everything's working and I've got VMs deployed on these hosts, that I'll be able to give them access to the outside world through a different NIC. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And click on Power On. Now one of the things that I'll do is, click on OK, is from this guy, this should be, okay, 7 should be disconnected at this point. Yeah, 7's not responding, which is exactly what you'd expect to see. I'm going to come back over here to this guy. This is 4. So if I come in here and I ping 10.1.1.210, or 10. Okay, why is this not working? So he's not working now. Okay, so let's see here. Maybe I have other issues that I wasn't aware of. So we're going to click on Close and Close. And we're going to go to this guy. And we're going to go to Manage and Storage Devices. Okay, open file is showing up here. What did I give storage adapter? The target is, oh, 128. That's why it's not working. Okay, so that's my fault. So, yeah, 128. That's completely 100% my fault. I apologize about that, guys. So if I come back over here and I grab this IP address and I come up here and type in 128, that works. So that's why it didn't work originally. I was using the wrong IP. I apologize about that. So I'm going to come back in here and click and go open this guy up, go back to 7, click on login. As soon as he is up and operational, let's go ahead and just jump back there real quick to make just to double check. And he's almost there. And we'll wait a couple more seconds in order for him to come back up. But then you'll be able to do things like vMotion and stuff like that. You don't need vCenter. You don't need, what's the word I'm looking for? You need vCenter to do vMotion, but you don't need distributed switches to do vMotion. So I'll give that a couple more seconds to do its thing. So now that we're there, we're going to go back over to our other device and grab him. So we've got the pings working. I need to log in here, figure out why I'm not able to log in as me. Figure that out real quick. Could just be the fact that I hadn't connected back to the domain controller. But see if that works. There it goes. So now I'm able to log in. I figured I just had tried to log in way quicker than what I could. So now we're going to go back to the configuration and click on network adapters. And so, okay, that's a little better. So now what I'll do is I'll go back to the networking, the storage adapters, and I will say storage adapters, go properties, and then I'll go to, they're mapped dynamic discovery, I need to change the IP address here. Go remove, yes, and then add, and then 10.1.1.128. Click on OK. And then once that goes out and does its thing, click on close, and then rescan. So now we should learn the hard drive, which is a 600 gig iSCSI drive, or 500 and change. There it goes. That's exactly what you want to see. Now if you go to storage and you click in here DC1 SAN, which is what I named it from vCenter, click in here and click on add storage. It's going to be a disk or a LUN. Next. Wait, what? Why is it not showing up? Next. Did it automatically get associated? If it did, that'd be the first time. It did. Wow, okay. Normally I always have to manually associate. If I go to browse data store, well, how about that? Alright, cool. So that's the networking component of it. So if I come back over here to this guy, now I should be able to ping .7, and I can. If I can ping .7 and I can ping .17, I know that everything's working from a networking perspective. Now they're all in the same local network. In this perspective, they're just carved up. So there's that. So now the next thing to do would be to go back to the configuration and networking. I want to add another device. Click on VM kernel adapter. Click next. And then this is going to be vNIC3 and a new vSwitch. Next. This guy's going to be vMotion. Click on this is use this port group for vMotion. Click next. The IP address here in this particular case can be 10.1.20.7/24. Next, next, and done. So you don't actually do anything with this. You don't put any VMs in a port group with this. This is in case you want to do vMotion. This needs to be able to work. So now from 4, we want to be able to ping 20.7 and actually, you know what? Not sure why that's not working. 20.3 or 20.5. I'm not going to worry about that one right now, but so we have that. So let me just double check to make sure that my IP addressing is correct on the web client. So if we go to here and we go to networking and we go to VM kernel adapters for 4, you'll see that vMotion 20.4. So yeah, it should work. HA fault tolerance is the next one, so we're going to go bring this guy back up, and then we're going to go click on add networking, and then VM kernel adapter next, and then another vSwitch, and then we're going to say this is fault tolerance logging, and we're going to say HA/fault tolerance. Click on next. The IP addressing range here is going to be 10.1.30.7. 30.7/24, and finish, and that's pretty much all there really is to it. So now we're at this point where we've got our networking, we have our storage set up. That's working the way that we need it to. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through how to take and deploy a virtual machine and get it up and running. Until next time, guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.